We've set up a rationale for why it is that you would want to use an integrated developer's environment. What we're going to do is make it so that you can actually set up the integrated developers environment. So here it's brackets.io. The link for you is in the other material here inside of the web development module. Really, it's a simple process. You would just download brackets. This probably will be the version number you see, but it might not be. If you just go to brackets.io, that's the homepage. Whatever homepage it is going to give to you whatever new version of the download it is. You're just going to go ahead and click through to the download and, next, continue, and away you go. What I'll tell you, the nice thing again about brackets is it lives in kind of a self-contained folder. So if you are doing this from a Windows PC, you are not going to get all the junk that happens when you download and install, like Microsoft Office would be or something like that. When you are done with brackets, it removes from your system either a Mac or a PC really very, very simply. After we get this downloaded and installed, we're going to go ahead and run brackets. You can see how quickly it is that brackets pops up over there. I'm just going to take up a little bit more space right here. This is running from a previous version. I don't need to go ahead and update this. If for whatever reason yours comes up with a previous version, don't bother. You'll be okay. I'm going to say cancel. The first time you run brackets, it's going to give you this brackets health report. That's just telling you, hey, brackets chooses to communicate with Adobe a little bit about your usage. You don't really get a choice. I go ahead and just close this. This is what the default layout for brackets looks like. Now, I suggest you come through here and change a couple of things really quickly to help you really squeeze the most utility out of the environment. First and foremost, this is going to look mostly the same if you're on a PC. I'm again here on my Mac where I do all my recording. First, you come to View and then Themes. It's not required. In no way, shape, or form am I telling you that this is absolutely necessary, but most developers find that looking at a white background with a dark foreground, so black on white, is very, very hard on your eyes. It leads to eye strain and things of that nature. Darker backgrounds, lighter foregrounds, on the other hand, you're not essentially just roasting your retinas with that. You may choose to do this. I will tell you, this is always the first thing I do when I develop, is change this so that we have a dark background and a light foreground. It'll help. Next, it's also under the View menu. If you come to vertical split, what that's going to do is put this line right here, and it's going to give you essentially 3 windows inside of the main brackets window. Over here on the left is where all of your files will go. As you're developing your way through the Beautify North Central Illinois document, you can just stack all of your HTML and all of your CSS files here. So I have this index.html right here, and I have this main.css over here. You can see when I click on main.css, I get stuff over here. When I click on index.html, I get stuff in here. That stuff is HTML. So this is what the overall environment looks like. It is my suggestion to you, if you'll notice when I hover next to the name for my index.html in the upper left-hand corner here, there's this little bumper that says flip this view to the right pane. If you go ahead and do that, and if I click on main.css now, I can look at 2 documents at the same time. This will help you code faster. You'll work in, and it really legitimately, it does not matter if you choose to have all of your CSS in the left window and all of your HTML in the right window like we have here. I will tell you the truth, I actually do it this way, where I do the HTML on the left-hand side and the CSS on the right, because by the time it is you're coding your way through A and B, you do most of your work in the HTML, but C and D, you do most of your work in the CSS. So, whatever you choose, whatever you feel like you like better, go for it. The other thing of note here when you are playing with the brackets environment is if I go ahead and click my HTML pane, just click any place inside of here, it doesn't really matter. And then if I click on the lightning bolt icon over here, this is the live preview. This message says, hey, Brackets uses Chrome as a live update browser. That's fine. As long as you have Chrome installed on your system, what you'll see is this live preview. So getting started with brackets, this is actually the getting started with brackets HTML. So we can use Control Tab, or if you're on a Mac, Command Tab, to rock back and forth in between your two most immediately previous windows. So brackets, Command Tab, Chrome, Command Tab, brackets, Command Tab, Chrome. If you're on a Windows PC, Control Tab, brackets, Control Tab, Chrome. And it helps you reduce the time it takes for you to get off of your keyboard, go over to your mouse, go click over into something. That just takes a lot of time. The idea of using the keyboard to get around helps you out tremendously. The other thing you'll notice that'll help you out tremendously is if I click any place inside of a tag. So again, remember that a tag is noted with the less than and greater than sign, and then it's got something inside of it. H1 for a heading, PE for a paragraph, EM for bigger type, link for links, title for title, so on and so forth. If I click any place, so I'm clicking here inside of H1 again. There we go. I've clicked inside of H1, and you'll see that the closing and the opening tags are both highlighted. And if I rock back to my live preview, it's actually going to highlight for me that tag and the way that we can see it over here. This will help you when you're developing things. If you're not sure that you've typed something incorrectly, or you think that you've typed it in but you're not seeing it over in your HTML in the live preview, come back here into your brackets window, click on whatever tag it is that you think is not behaving properly, and come back and look. This is your guide. This text right here is the H2. So that highlighting really helps you out. If I was to change something over here, getting started with brackets and HTML, I've already made a spelling mistake, so there's and. If I just rock my way back over to the live Chrome window, you'll see that and is already right here. So you can see your changes nearly in real time. The one thing I will mention, because it's going to not feel as satisfying, when you're making a change over here to your CSS, you actually have to make a change. So I'm going to say font size, instead of 16, I'm going to say 18. And we'll notice that it gets a little bigger. Sometimes, it's not every time, sometimes that change is instantaneous. So if I come back over here, you can see my font is at 16. If I just delete that and say 8 and come back over, now this is 18-point font. It definitely got a little bit bigger. Every so often, this live preview loses track of your CSS, and the remedy for that is just to come back here into brackets, save any place in your CSS document. So if I'm on a Mac, that's Command S. If I'm on a PC, that's Control S, S for save. And then when I come back and check here inside of my Chrome window, everything is going to be updated properly. So that's getting set up with brackets. Your files are going to appear over here on the left-hand side. Either your HTMLs or your CSSs will occupy these other two windows. And over here with the lightning bolt, that will be your live preview, which again, if I take out and HTML and rock back, there's getting started with brackets, but my text is gone. This will save you a tremendous amount of time and aggravation when you are coding your way through the XHTML document, and it will also help support you so that you can develop faster and get everything moved even farther by the time it is that you're done with the project.